Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Good evening. As thousands begin hitting the road tonight for the Australia Day long weekend, drivers are being urged to do the right thing behind the wheel. Road safety experts say just a few simple habits can help prevent a holiday from turning to tragedy.
For Elena Goff, it took just one trip to get hooked. A family holiday to Cairns sparking a passion for caravanning.
It takes away all the distractions of life. You don't have a lawn to mow when you go away in a caravan. You don't have washing to do. You just get to enjoy being with your family.
Her family will enjoy the upcoming long weekend in the Huon Valley. But before leaving, the family has work to do to ensure their portable home is safe to tow. Check
tyre pressures. We make sure that we've got all of our doors secure, we make sure that the windows are locked, we make sure that the awning is locked away.
The RACT says these checks and more are critical to help keep towers and other vehicles safe.
Do all your under-bonnet checks, oil, coolant, even down to your windscreen washer, fluids, brake fluid. Have a walk around the vehicle.
The insurer expecting a surge in people seeking advice ahead of the long weekend. They're warning drivers not to leave anything to chance.
You never know what's happened in between your last journey and this journey.
Police also urging Tasmanians to ensure they get to and from their destination alive.
It's really important that we all take responsibility for our behaviour on the roads.
Officers will keep a watchful eye on the roads with the fatal 5 front of mind. But they say the decisions we make will make a difference.
Think about the decisions you make. Think about the speed you travel at. Let's keep everybody safe this weekend by slowing down, buckling up and thinking about our decisions.
As police aim for a fatality-free weekend. John Hunt, 7 Tasmania News.
The Attorney-General says he was only made aware in the past 24 hours of further charges being laid against a Tasmanian Supreme Court judge. It has been revealed that Justice Gregory Geeson will face a Sydney court next month after being charged with breaching a domestic violence order 3 times in November.
My department secretary has confirmed the charges and that advice has been provided to me early this morning.
The Justice had previously been charged with common assault and emotional abuse in Hobart last month. He has pleaded not guilty to both counts and was bailed to face the Hobart Magistrates Court on February 6. A new bail support program is helping Aboriginal Tasmanians navigate the justice system. An 18-month-long trial is about to be launched, the Tailored Initiative hoping to help close the gap.
It's a targeted approach aiming to reduce incarceration rates, a bail support program lending a guiding hand to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people.
If people are actively supported on bail, they have active supports through the legal system, that limits the negative contact with the justice system in the longer term.
The Tasmanian Aboriginal Legal Service offering tailored community assistance, helping navigate what can often be a complex relationship with the justice system.
So our team will be here to support and guide those on bail to navigate through those systems to meet the conditions required.
We care about our Aboriginal people and they are way overrepresented compared to non-Aboriginal Tasmanians, and we've got a lot of work to do there.
The Aboriginal Design and Led initiative has big results in mind, wanting to keep repeat offenders out of jail and address the root of the problem.
Think of housing concerns, mental health, drug and other alcohol concerns, accessing those support services to really make sure they get what they need to be, healthy, vibrant Aboriginal community members.
And having Aboriginal people providing services to Aboriginal people might just be the ticket to those services hitting their mark.
A conscious and measured effort to help close the gap. Victoria Easto, 7 Tasmania News.
Well, Tasports is warning more disruptions could be on the way as marine pilots ramp up industrial action. The Disney Wonder cruise ship is the latest casualty of the protracted strikes, cancelling its docking in Hobart on Sunday. The move comes as union members threaten to walk off the job over the next 2 weekends as a pay dispute deepens. Tasports predicts up to 15 vessels shipping the likes of forestry and mining products could be impacted as part of the ongoing strike action.
For our state, Tasmania, is we need all parties involved in that dispute between Tasports and the pilots union is to sit down and talk, work it out, and we want to see less disruption
and more cooperation.
Tasport says it's committed to a fair and reasonable outcome. Launceston's Lake Trevally will be off limits to recreational water users this long weekend, following the discovery of a blue-green algae bloom. It was detected during routine testing carried out by the Tamar Estuary and Esk Rivers program. At high levels, it can be harmful to humans, causing skin rashes and eye irritation. Lake Trevally will remain closed until deemed safe. The first basin remains open. A new direct funding agreement between the state government and Westpac means the helicopter service will continue to provide life-saving care to thousands of severely injured or unwell Tasmanians for 2 more years. The move welcomed by Ambulance Tasmania.
Benefits include the acquisition of equipment, training and the ongoing development of our teams.
Those that receive the service and appreciate the care and attention via our rescue helicopters do not pay.
The helicopter service has run for the past 24 years in Tasmania. A fleet of electric metro buses is hitting the road in Launceston for the first time as part of a 2-year trial. Coming at a cost of $6 million to taxpayers, they're quiet and green, but do they stack up?
All aboard Metro's first electric bus. Whisper quiet. You'll soon see 4 of these battery-operated behemoths picking up passengers and snaking around the streets of Launceston as the technology is put to the test.
Each of these buses will be able to do about 250 kilometres a day on a single charge, and that's well within what we need to do here in Launceston.
Charged overnight with renewable energy, they'll help drive down Tasmania's emissions if commuters can be convinced to swap cars for one of these seats, still with the new bus smell.
About 21% of our emissions come from emissions from our transport sector, predominantly the private car.
These buses will be pitted against a hydrogen-powered test fleet in Hobart later this year.
We have some pretty big hills, we have some pretty cold winters, we have some pretty hot summers. So we really want to see how both technologies work and what is best suited for us from an efficiency point of view and from a cost point of view, but also from an experience point of view.
The results will guide Metro's investment to replace its ageing fleet.
We'd love to hear from our passengers, the customers who use Metro. We want to hear from our drivers and engineers. We want to hear from everybody about what the experience is like.
Nick Kelly, 7 Tasmania News.
The first Blind Golf Tasmanian Open is set to tee off in Kingston next week. The tournament is specifically designed for golfers with a visual impairment, with a caddy and a guide to help them. Big crowds are expected on the green for the 36-hole Stableford event.
There's about 54 blind golfers only registered in Australia. 22 will come to the Tasmanian event, and they're from all over the country.
There's also a come and try day for people with a visual impairment to
really
try something new.
To become more involved and to find out how to actually play blind golf as opposed to coming and trying blind golf.
Play will get underway on February 5 and 6. As the Australian Open reaches its final stages, some of the world's top senior tennis players have descended on Hobart. The Australian Senior Championships is serving up some of the best players in each age bracket, with many using the event as a springboard to higher honours.
Same rules, same objectives, a different pace of play. But don't let that fool you. These players have serious game.
Similar to what's happening back in Melbourne at the moment with the Australian Open, the best are competing against the best to see who is the best.
Hobart is centre court for this year's Australian Senior Championships. While it's a world away from Melbourne Park, this tournament is just as important.
It's the second highest event on the world calendar for seniors. And all the serious players are here.
We are competitive, but we love getting out. We have to eat well, we have to get our sleep.
Over the past 2 weeks, hundreds of players have competed in team and individual events. The field ranges from as young as 30 to as old as 85 and includes multiple world number ones. Competitors chasing points on and off court.
A lot of them are here to earn their ranking points so that they can participate and be selected for the Australian teams.
Leanne knows all about representing Australia, part of the team that won gold in the 65 women's category in Spain last year.
That was an awesome experience. an opportunity to see the country.
Both kept busy this week. Leanne at one stage played 4 games in one day.
If you do play singles, doubles, mix, you can be expected to have a lot of matches per day.
I'm playing doubles. Got knocked out in the first round of the singles.
For all the won and lost sets, age will not weary them.
When you see the motto, a game for life, it is truly a game for life.
My father's 101, so I hope to be playing in the 90 plus.
John Hunt, 7 Tasmania News.
Tasmania has narrowly avoided a major biosecurity breach. A red imported fire ant was intercepted at an Australia Post parcel centre in the state's south last night. If it had spread beyond the post office, the ant had the potential to kill native plants and animals and significantly damage entire ecosystems. The state's only dedicated surfing museum has opened in Hobart, boasting an abundance of trophies and antique surfboards. It's as the state's biggest surf event prepares for another ripper weekend on the waves.
It started with a dream to create a surfing time capsule, showcasing some of the most iconic boards and surf memorabilia in Tasmania. And now it's come to life.
Started making phone calls, find out where the gear was, what gear we could get, like surfboards, photographs, films.
Surfers young and the young at heart offering gear to showcase at the Surfing Museum, upstairs at the new Red Herring store on Elizabeth Street in Hobart.
Rotate, probably every 6 to 9 months we can change the theme and just have an ongoing aspect. And the idea is that if you want to come in, you've got an hour to kill in town, you just want to come into the museum, you can watch movies, you can read stories.
Last night's opening, a chance to share stories about the sport which bonded these Tasmanians together for life.
That's the way I like it.
It comes as hundreds prepare to take part in this year's Surf Pro-Am starting tomorrow.
We've got more entries than what we had last year, so we're really happy with that. We've got more interstate entries as well, so everything's going to plan.
Open men's and women's events set to see some of the best take on South Arm's waves. Organisers calling on everyone to join. And
we're trying to grow it through social media, but also with Surfing Australia, partnering with those guys and Surfing Tasmania to bring more people to Tassie and get them to come down and enjoy what is home.
The event and the museum both free to check out. Ruby Cairns, 7 Tasmania News.
A citizenship ceremony will coincide with this year's Sandy Bay Regatta after Hobart City Council voted to move the event away from Australia Day to this Saturday instead.
After there was a policy change in the Citizenship Ceremonies Code. So we're really delighted that this move has actually been implemented so that everybody can celebrate on a wonderful day.
It's the 175th Regatta, with organisers confident both events will mould together well.
We've got an opportunity for people to come down and try sailing, or for them to try stand-up paddleboarding. So there's plenty of things happening on the water as well as things on the land.
It's called the Harmony Festival. Will follow the 2 events offering multicultural entertainment and family activities. As the new school year fast approaches, more out-of-hours care services say their waiting lists are filling up. Labor claims its new policy to expand after-school programs to 10 locations across the state could help struggling families secure a place for their child.
There are a lot of families out there that we hear from on a daily basis that are currently struggling to access care.
This is a commitment that's less than $1 million, will support hundreds more children to provide them access to outside school hours care at their local school, taking pressure off families and easing the burden on waiting lists.
The state government says it is taking cost of living seriously and has a number of measures to help ease the return to school burden.
A 100 off 48 bowls from Kobe Arrowsmith got the Tigers' intellectual disability team into their second straight National Inclusion Carnival Grand Final. After setting a target of 121 from their 20 overs, they were only able to take a single wicket from the Victorians, who won the game a short time ago with 9 wickets in hand. Meanwhile, Tasmania's second 11 managed to get the job done in the nation's capital this afternoon, beating the ACT by 6 wickets on the final day of their test. Import selection will be top of the agenda as Cricket Tasmania launches a review into the Hurricanes program. Their head of high performance was left feeling frustrated after the men's team missed the Big Bash finals for the third time in 4 seasons. They'll be looking at continued subpar performances from international players, with all options on the table.
We've got to have some of them because that's the competition requirements, but can we put our homegrown players, a bit like what we've done in the Male Tigers program, in those pivotal roles?
Current BBL rules require each side to have a minimum of 2 international recruits on their squad list. National sports sedans will take to Simmons Plains at this year's Race Tasmania for the first time in almost 30 years. The sedans joining TCR and the National Trans Am. Reigning champion James Moffat is determined to keep his crown. Fast, loud and loaded with thrills.
What has happened there?
AWC Race Tasmania returns to Simmons Plains in March.
Fast, non-stop action, you know, one category off the circuit, the next one on, very little time to sit around.
James Moffat kicked off his winning Trans Am season here last year and can't wait to do it again.
Started the year off on a really good note and we were able to sort of carry that momentum all through 2023, but that's behind us now, and the job ahead of us is to come back here in March for Race Tasmania and have just as good as weekend.
The drivers love it here at Simmons Plains. They say the complex bends make it one of the more fun racetracks in the country, but obviously I'm not going to take their word for it.
On paper it looks very simple. It's quite short and only has 7 turns, but all of those 7 turns are very technical in their own right. It's a tight track, but it means you've got to get every aspect of it absolutely 100% spot on.
It's also a training ground today. Port Sorell's Denzel Sargent was driving karts until last year. Now looking to break into the big time, the 17-year-old is one of a handful of up-and-coming drivers invited to the GRM Combine, an opportunity to be mentored by some of the best.
It's really good learning off Marcus Ambrose. He's done a lot of racing and he's got a lot of experience.
The perfect way to get a start in what is a financially difficult sport.
So different to ball sports, being cricket and football and those type of sports where the equipment is so expensive. We try and give them a pathway that they can press on and hopefully keep climbing to the top.
Makes it a lot easier because you work for a great team and they tell you how to get sponsors and how to get the right people behind you.
Good evening. Hobart and Burnie reached 25 degrees today. Launceston 24 and Devonport a top of 22. Fingal our warmest with 28. St Helens and Bushy Park 26 today. Friendly Beaches and Grove 25. Smithton and the Bass Strait Islands 22. Bit cooler for Low Head and Strawn on 21. A couple of showers over the west today, mainly early as the westerly winds pushed over that cloud. Further north we have a look here, and a large area of cloud is over northeastern Queensland linked to Tropical Cyclone Kirrily. A band of cloud extends from Western Australia over South Australia through Victoria. Tomorrow those pesky westerly winds will continue and the cyclone hopefully transitions back into a low as it merges with another low pressure cell or two in the far north. Now those westerlies blowing up to 20 to 30 knots again over our region and to 35 knots over the south with a 4 metre swell. So gale warning is on from the northern tip of Flinders Island to St Helens Point and also from Tasman Island to Low Rocky Point, a strong wind warning for remaining coastal waters and also the inland lakes. Tomorrow for Hobart, a shower or two, a windy day, 21 the maximum, 21 for Huonville, similar forecast, possible shower for Campania but still windy and 21 the maximum. 23 and partly cloudy for Australia Day in Launceston, Devonport becoming windy, mostly sunny and 22, 23 the top for Georgetown. Burnie a high of 19, a possible shower, showers for Strawn 18 and 20 the top for Wynyard, a shower or two with those winds still blowing. St Helens tomorrow, mostly sunny and 25, 23 for Swansea and also Port Arthur. Those windy, showery conditions will continue for most areas on Saturday. St Helens expected to remain dry. A fine, mostly sunny day on Sunday as the winds and wet weather tend to ease a little bit. And on Monday, another fine, sunny and warm day apart from a shower over the west. 32 and sunny in Perth tomorrow, partly cloudy in Adelaide, an early shower for Melbourne. Look at this, 38 degrees in Sydney tomorrow. Brisbane 32, storms and heavy rainfall for Darwin. Cloudy in Hobart, 24, 19 right now in Launceston, windy in Devonport. It's going to be windy for a couple of days yet, 21 there at the moment. In light of the big day tomorrow, Kim, I think I might give it a miss tomorrow night.
Oh, having another day off, are we? Of course we are. See you next week. Oh no, I'm on holidays. I won't. That is all your news for now. If you're heading away for the long weekend, please take care. For now, on behalf of the entire team, it is good night.